Jerry, what are you doing eating that cobbler? Put that cobbler down. Shit, man, I can't make you sad. Bring the cobbler, sit down, and enjoy my review. Coming up next. Hey, what is up, guys? It's Chaos Reviews checking in, doing my weekly review for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 13, Bury Me Here. So, this episode starts out, they're putting a cantaloupe in the back of a truck and securing it down with tie downs and stuff like that. I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? Why they, what's so special about this one cantaloupe that it needs to be tied down and it can't, like, ride shotgun or something like that, right? So that was a little bit weird. So basically that was a clip of almost the ending of the episode. One of those kind of like time-lapse episodes, right? It's kind of interesting. So then it goes back and it starts to show the kingdom, how it's starting to struggle a little bit. I can't remember her name. One of Ezekiel's people that does the farming and is in charge of it, I assume. I want to say like Lydia or something. Whatever. Anyways, she says they got a problem. They got some kind of a parasite, a worm or something like that that's starting to eat the crops of, and if they don't act quick, it's gonna move further down the line and just destroy everything. She said our only options is really to cut it down and burn it. But she said that's the beautiful thing about doing that with crops and just life. It doesn't matter what happens to it. You can crush it, you can tear it down, you can break it, you can burn it, but in the end, it's gonna grow back beautifully and just as strong, if not better, than it was before. So that's what she suggests happens, and it's kind of a foreshadowing of like what could come to happen. And she's just talking kind of in general of even themselves. It's a good analogy of like The Walking Dead and all the communities and people and stuff like that. You can tear us down, break us, but we'll just keep coming back, kind of thing. So that was pretty cool. We keep seeing a little bit more focus on Benjamin and now his brother that Morgan's starting to train. Get to see Jerry enjoying some cobbler. He was real happy eating that. Seeing a lot of Jerry lately. Ezekiel tells him to drop it, and he's just like gets right sad. And he's like, "Nah, I can't make you that sad, Jerry. I'm sorry." So he just says, "Take it." So yeah, we get to see Morgan train a little bit more. You see Richard kind of snaking his way around a little bit more in this episode. You get to see Carol a little bit. But the main focus of this episode is how Morgan's kind of tied into the kingdom a little bit more. How his training's really working with Benjamin, and now his brother, he wants to be as good as his brother and stuff like that. So they're doing another supply run for the saviors, and it's supposed to be 12 cantaloupes, and when they get close to the drop-off point, there's a big arrow of like Walmart shopping carts in the middle of the road. They got to stop and like move them. Then there's like a little grave saying "Bury me here" over there. But then they leave. They get there, and turns out there's only 11 cantaloupes. This leader that's leading this small pack of the saviors. He's like the bigger, like a Lieutenant Negan or something like that. He seems to be a little bit more down to earth than the other ones. But anyways, there's 11. So he takes all their weapons and he says, like, something's got to be done. Then that little bastard with the long hair, man, a real satisfying death is coming with him. Maybe even at the season finale. I'm not really sure. But, like, they're obviously building this guy up to be hated, like, the governor and, like, Negan and stuff like that. He's such a dick. He stole Morgan's stick, and then he shoots Benjamin because they're short a cantaloupe. And he must have hit an artery or something because he shot him in the leg and he bleeds out. They leave. He ends up dying. Morgan loses his shit. He finally breaks. He's at the point where, like, it doesn't matter. Maybe spiritualism and not, like, harming anything isn't the answer. He's just, like, losing, considering killing himself. He goes back to the point where they were late because of to the drop off, which wasn't good. And then he ends up kicking this toad over and finds that single cantaloupe. And then he kind of does a little recap in his mind, like, what the hell? And then he realizes Richard slowed them all down. And then he was the one who put that there, and he confronts him. And Richard, kind of breaks down a bit, says, it wasn't supposed to be Benjamin, it was supposed to be me. I was going to be like, he wanted to be a martyr, sacrifice himself to prove that they need to do something. And then they go back to meet up with the Saviors to give them that single cantaloupe. I figured you'd bring a few more, just for a good measure or whatever, but they just bring the one, which is a little bit weird, making a trip and making them waste all that gas and supplies just to go pick up one cantaloupe. But they go back to them, and then they give them the cantaloupe. The little Lieutenant Negan guy, he's like, where's the boy? He's like, shit, he died. Then he gets really pissed at the long-haired dude, the little rat boy, and tells him to walk home and don't turn around or else I will shoot your ass. And then right before Richard goes up, right before that, Morgan tells him, you gotta tell them what happened now. And he's like, I will later. Now's not the time. Ezekiel's like, yeah, of course now's the time. He ignores everybody, and he goes up to kind of, it almost sounded like he was going to, like, give him some kind of bullshit answer kind of thing. And Morgan snaps, starts smashing his back of his head off the pavement, and chokes him to death. And it was just like, wow, that moment where Morgan snaps. Crazy. Then episode basically ends off with Morgan going to Carol saying, do you really want to know what happened in Alexandria? Explains, shit went down, Glenn's dead, etc. That's the episode in a nutshell. So, let's talk about some stuff. Jerry and the Cobbler, it was awesome. Okay, honestly, I knew somebody was going to die at this next meeting, and I could feel it. I thought it was either going to be Jerry or Benjamin, because the way they've been building both those characters up, and I was really scared it was Jerry. No, not Jerry. Benjamin sucks he died. Must have hit an artery, though. That was bleeding like crazy. Savage as hell scene with Morgan. Smash his head down. At the end of the episode, we see a little bit of almost like a foreshadowing or whatever of he's like carving a stick. He's at the end of his roads, and he knows that he has to fight now. He's by himself doing that. He's finally come to a realization. Richard, that bastard, finally got what he's deserved. He's been trying to instigate something for a while. Was he correct that something needs to be done? Yes. But he tried to sacrifice Carol at one point. Now he sacrificed Benjamin. He didn't mean to. But it's just a fact. He was dangerous. He was a cancer growing inside there. And he was causing a lot of shit. So, anyways, rough times are coming for the kingdom. Ezekiel is starting to realize, we're going to keep being short. We're having problems with our crops. Fight is about to come. He told Carol, now's not the time, but it's going to come. He knows we have to fight now. So it surprised me Richard died so early, because his character in the book, I think, dies when the war kind of starts, but it's kind of interesting. I think they needed a kind of a bigger death and something to kind of reignite Morgan's story and Carol's story, because they pretty much ruined Carol. She was awesome at one point. She was really had a good story going, and then they just chopped her down 2 feet. Maybe that's the spark that they needed to get them both going again. What else did I want to talk about here? I still don't know why they just didn't put that melon in the truck. It's kind of funny. Maybe it was just kind of a symbolism of redoing the whole thing again. Not really sure. Overall, it was a good episode. It was better than the last one, thank God. I was expecting another filler. And, some people I see some of the fanboys saying, every show needs a filler, blah, blah, blah. It's true. They do. They do to extend some character story and character development. But when you only have 16 episodes to deal with the season, and previous seasons that it was less than that, just the way Walking Dead goes about certain things, they really water down some storylines and just really drag their heels, that it's really annoying when they do it. Because they don't do it right, you know what I mean? There's a good way to do a filler, and a bad way to do a filler. Anyways, good. It was a better episode. Wasn't amazing. Definitely not a 10 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I think that's a fair rating. Again, lots of people way too generous with the ratings on the internet. I'm trying to be the bit of a more honest man when it comes to doing ratings. Not every show's a 9.5. Not every show's a 10. It's crazy. It's The Walking Dead. I love it. I own every volume that has been released. Watch the show religiously. doesn't mean it deserves a 9.9 every episode. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going over my checklist here. Little, they place these little comedic humor like lines perfectly in the last few episodes. Love it. The Jerry Cobbler thing. It's a moment where you didn't really expect something to be kind of funny, and it was. You know, awesome. That Jerry guy's awesome. It's gonna suck when he dies if he does. The farmer girl, when she says, "I think I just pissed myself." That was funny too. You know, you got a little bit of humor. You had some real good character development with Morgan, kind of when he snapped, and because he thought Benjamin was like a son to him, like Dwayne, when he had to kill Dwayne, and that's what really broke him. So that was good. Just real good character progression there. But there's only there's not 13 episodes left. That'd be crazy. That was episode 13. There's only 3 left, so there's not much time left. The war is not gonna be resolved at the end of the season, especially the pace they're going. It might start at the very end of the season, leave us on a cliffhanger where they start to march to war, and the whole next mid-season will be the war. Drug out, probably resolved around the mid-season, maybe. I hope they don't drag it the whole season, and then some kind of rebuilding, and then the next storyline, maybe whatever it's going to be in the book, or on the show if they're going to follow the book or do something different. Because, like I said, there's lots of things they've introduced and haven't really followed up on in the show. So, I think that's pretty much it. Richard, you dick, you got what you asked for. Freaking martyrs. What kind of cobbler was he eating anyways? Blueberry? Looked pretty good. Man, what was that had be eating cobbler? I'm kind of scared to go buy cantaloupes now at the grocery store. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Chaos out.